Hello everyone, I'm Wendell Jones and welcome to this edition of the program, The Platform. On this program we examine national issues. The general elections are over and we believe that the country is getting back to normalcy, but only for some people, because there are some things that the more things change, the more they remain the same. And the feud at Lyford Key is not over. As a matter of fact, it is ongoing. There are certain matters in the courts in the Bahamas, in the United States, as well as Canada, between two Lyford Key neighbors. And so on our program today, we are going to be speaking with a young man who is quite aware of the situation. In recent times, there were flyers being handed out on street corners, and so we continue to stay on top of this story. Our guest on the program today is ClementChea, who is a businessman. He has been involved in many activist movements in our country, and it's a pleasure to have him as our guest on the program. ClementChea, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again.
Pleasure.
I think the last time I spoke with you, we were on East Street, eh?
Yes, that was the last time, yes.
Good. And I saw that you were playing a significant role in events over the last 2 months or so. We don't need to go into that. But you're here today because you have some concerns, I'm sure,
yeah.
As many people do, of this ongoing feud between Louis Bacon and Peter Nygaard.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, and I think it's gone on and dragged on a little too long. I think it's a distraction to the judicial system. I think it's a distraction to the public at large for those who care. Some really don't care because as far as they are two foreigners, two billionaires throwing their money and their financial weight around. So for some people, they just don't care. That's the way they see it, man. Let them trash out their own stuff. But at the same time, a lot of laundry is being aired out there. Some of it is not true. Some of it may be true. Some of it may be some of it may be what you call stretching the truth. So, but basically, I'm really here out of concern for Mr. Nygaard, of whom I've been employed now for the last few years as one of his landscapers and ground maintenance guys, who had an opportunity to spend a lot of time with him, personal time and even fun time, as far as, when you go down his place, it's like a big amusement park, so to speak, activities and stuff. So I've had an opportunity to spend time with him and have meaningful and quality conversations with him. And basically, from me, I'm still trying to locate this gentleman, Mr. Nygaard, that these people are portraying out there. I have yet to meet this gentleman. Because what I met and what I've seen and encountered in meeting Mr. Nygaard, I haven't seen that person yet. That animal that they've created, I have not seen that as yet. Why
you think this thing just wouldn't go away?
Yeah, it seems as if that, we now Bahamians, we have this terminology, you like people business, and we like to sensationalize things. And so I think for some people who like people business, for them it's like a soap opera. So they want to know, especially when stuff are in the courts and you haven't heard all the juice yet, it's like a cliffhanger.
Yeah, but the average man on the street, you think he is concerned about it?
Absolutely not. I just think it's, like I said, I think it's become overbearing. I think it's stale now. Maybe in the beginning it seemed important because around that time we were getting close to the political season, and everybody knows that Mr. Nygaard has openly and outwardly said he supported the Progressive Liberal Party financially, and maybe one or two of the members personally. So that's no big secret. He let it out himself. He said it. And so for some people, I think...
And the other side supported the other side.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
But my thing is, I think, like I said earlier, it has dragged on long enough. I wish, for God's sake, it would just end, because this man, who has been instrumental in the lives of many Bahamians, especially the poor and downtrodden, I think people just need to get on with their lives. I think this man, I know he wants to definitely get on with his life back to what you said earlier, normalcy. Where he could go through Lyford Key without people having to whisper. I think having to be able to go through the Bahamas and go through Nassau without having people to look at him like some freak or some freak of nature. I mean, I've told people he is a little eccentric, but who isn't? You know what I mean? I mean, he is not your everyday person. Okay, he didn't come to where he is today by just being ordinary. He had to step out of some zone or some box to become who he is. He may come off a little misunderstood. But like I said, I still have yet to make the animal that people have painted him to be.
Well, you know, there's a thing called justice.
Yes.
And social justice, you would want social justice in the Bahamas for everybody.
Yes.
Peter Nygaard deserves social justice.
Yes, yes.
And he's not been getting social justice, has he?
No, he has not been getting social justice at all. I think, for lack of a better word, I think he's been mistreated, underappreciated, and basically, you know, kicked down. I mean, the man has given his heart, his home, his finance, everything to people who would not ordinarily have that opportunity. I mean, how often would you see kids from the inner city have an opportunity to even go past Life at Key Gate, much less have to drive through the whole of Life at Key to get to his home? I mean, to them, that's like a sightseeing, that's like a venture into a new world, because very few people have ever been in Life at Key, because they don't have a reason to go. And when he opened that part of his life to people, Life at Key, I don't think they liked it. I don't think they appreciated it. I think their thing was, how dare you let these people come in to this part of the world and invade our space? But his thing is, but that's not who I am. I'm a people's person.
Yeah, and you have seen ordinary Bahamians.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Having fun at his property.
Yes.
He has invited ordinary Bahamians to various events.
I mean, I've seen entertainers who want to use this place to do video shoots, music videos. You know what I mean? You know, because it's able to depict, you know, the Bahamas itself, a portion of the Bahamas itself, what we have to offer, you know, our beautiful resources as far as, you know, the sea and the sand and all that, the beauty that, you know, it happens here. And then also, it's open to a lot of young people. They go down there, they have volleyball tournaments, little boxing tournaments, basketball and stuff. But his heart is more geared mostly to young people who don't have an opportunity, and he wants to give them that opportunity.
Now, we know that, and based on what we have been reading, that his neighbor has been seeking to demonize him as someone who should not be there. As a matter of fact, they sought to acquire his property, and there have been a lot of trumped-up charges, it seems, against him. And you know of these things.
Yeah, well, like I said, in speaking with him, because when I got to know him, and I got to, when he hired me as an employee, this was already ongoing. So for him to invite me into his circle, to trust me, to tell me personal stuff, I would have had to present myself to him as someone genuine, and that's what I did. A lot of people come to him basically always wanting a financial aid. Some people feel as if they have valuable information, I can just give it to him and he'll pay me for valuable information, but he's not that kind of person. You know what I mean? I mean, he doesn't want you to create stuff to make him look good. Tell the truth. You know, and like I said, I know nothing about his neighbor personally. I just know the name. It's been floating around there for a long time. Everybody in the Bahamas knows the name. I've never seen him, never met him. I don't really care to either. But like I said, these persons who are portraying him to be some animal, obviously they have an agenda. He has, from what I understand, been here longer than this individual, and he, like I said, I mean, he has made the Bahamas and called the Bahamas his home for almost 30, like at least 30 plus years.
Yeah, his house was destroyed by fire. He wants to rebuild it. Doesn't he deserve to rebuild his house within the four corners of the law? There are some legal things that one has to comply with to rebuild a house. And it seems as though certain obstacles have been thrown in his way by Save the Bays and his neighbor Bacon. Don't you think that based on what you see, you've been a property manager down to Nygaard Key, that he should be able to reconstruct his place?
Well, first of all, I've never been a property manager at Land Life at Key. I've been a property manager at one of his properties that he owns, that I take care of, you know, on a monthly basis, just to keep the yard clean, make sure nothing grows up, but not the property at Life at Key. Of course, he deserves to build back his home. I mean, he's one of those persons that fortunately has the money to do that. When person's home burned down, I mean, they go to look for insurance. He should be allowed, like you said, within parameters of the law. He's not a lawbreaker. He doesn't want to break the law. He wants to live his life and be guided by the law. I think persons may have been influenced some other way to stagnate him, to stall him, to hamper him, you know, from doing these things. And I think it's unfortunate because I think from what I've known and what he shared with me, he has gone through all the proper procedures by far as town planning, putting in for permit applications, for rebuilding and all these stuff. And everything just seems that at one instant, it seems as if it's going to happen, then you look, it's a dead end because the other side has now done something else and got a new injunction, you know, put on him again. You know, every time it seems if he get over one hurdle, you know, that's 5 feet tall, they put another hurdle, now this one is 8 feet tall. You know what I mean? And it becomes worrisome and wearisome because, I mean, you can only take so much, you know. And I can tell you this, I've never actually seen him angry. I've never actually seen him get I'm sure he probably has his moments, but I've never actually seen him angry to the point where he's furious, you know. He comes off more disappointed than anything else, especially considering everything he feels that he's done in this country and for this country, you know, and a lot of people who live here, you know. So I think, of course, he should be able to rebuild as long as he meets all the requirements, and I think he has done that. But I think every time he does that, the people come back with a new injunction, and, you know,
and this has been going on for years, and there has been some politics involved in this matter because under an FNM government, he was denied certain things. The PLP decided that they would give him certain permission to do things, and then enters Save the Bays and Bacon, and they filed for some injunctions in the court, and now we are back to another FNM government. So it has to do with politics, doesn't it?
Well, it seems to be political, more or less, because it seems as if, I guess, when the party he supports is in power, things seem to be going more his way. When I say his way, I mean legally, like, it's not so hard for him to get some things moving, but then some, like I said, and you can tell that he has been doing it the right way, because even though his party was in power, to this day he still has not been able to rebuild. So it's not that the PLP did some miracle favor for him where they preempted the courts or they intervened in the judicial system and said outright, look, he's going to be able to rebuild no matter what. It's still in the courts today, and so,
so the PLP government has not been able to do anything.
It doesn't seem as if they intervene. And I liken to the new Prime Minister, Dr. Minnis, who I have high regards for, that he said there's a new sheriff in town. And I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, I don't see him being any different. Like he's going to try to intervene or get himself involved, or his government's going to get involved in this, because this, first of all, has nothing to do with the Bahamas.
Yeah, but shouldn't the government sort this matter out? Shouldn't a new government look at this situation and say, this feud has been going on for a long time. It has been causing some bad public relations, some bad publicity for the Bahamas. Shouldn't a government say, now listen, let's sort this out? Well, what can we do to ameliorate the situation?
Well, I think moving forward, that yes, well, it has been giving us a bad press. I mean, someone was handing out flyers the other day, saying that he is the sex beast of the Bahamas, sex slave king of the Bahamas. Okay, that word sex slave is not a word to be used and taken lightly. I mean, the word slave itself is a demeaning word. The word sex attached to it makes it even more demonized. And so giving those attributes to Mr. Nygaard is not a very, very good image. And he resides in the Bahamas, and people will say he has close ties to the government. And those who don't know may think this government, without even understand the entire logistics of this matter. And I think if it continues to give us the bad press and take away from our real true image of what the Bahamas has to represent, I think the government at some point, yes, should say, no, hold on. This has been going on too long. wrong, and this thing needs to come to a head where a decision has to be made. It's either going to be in his favor or it's going to be in someone else's favor.
But the decision should be just to allow this man to do what he needs to do within the parameters, as I said, the parameters of the law.
Definitely.
People can understand English. The government should make a decision, and these matters before the courts, they've taken up a considerable amount of time. I think it is 5 or 6 years that these things have been going on.
And one thing I'd like to point out too, there has been nothing criminal attached to him. He's not been arrested. He's not even been asked by the police to come in for any kind of questioning, for any criminal activity going on at his property, whether he was building illegally, whether he was dredging illegally. These are just allegations, but like I said, there's nothing criminal about what these people are saying about him. If there was anything criminal about what he was doing or trying to do, you would have known he would have been in the police custody a long time ago, if only just for questioning and released. But this has never happened. It's never even been suggested that he has done some criminal, something criminal, within the parameters of his home.
Yeah. Let's take a break here, and when we return, I want to talk about this flyer and the individual who is concerned with that. We on the platform. We'll come back.